Hey everybody, I just wanted to check in and go through some of our faith formation projects, what we've been working on for Lent throughout the season. I've seen that there are a lot of people that have some questions about what we're working on, what we've been doing since Ash Wednesday, and ways that we can keep up faith formation at home when our kids can't go to Mass and can't receive the Eucharist and can't do their sacrament prep. So I just want to run you through some of the items that we started with in faith formation and what you can do at home to keep up with those items as well. The first thing that we have in our house is our bean jar. If your kids did not bring home their bag of beans, let me see if I have them in my handy bag that I sent home with my kids. Everyone should have brought home this baggie with some lima beans in it. We talked about how seeds don't look like a whole lot. They look dead. But we plant them and they grow and they represent our hope in tomorrow. And that if we nurture them and we take care of them with the right minerals and the soil and the sunlight, that it's going to grow and bloom into a beautiful plant. The same thing is us during Lent. We are not doing good deeds. We're not making sacrifices to gain some kind of favor with God, but we're doing it to get closer to Jesus, to nourish our souls, to bloom our faith, and so on. So each of our kids took home a bag of beans with the goal to do good deeds and to get each of them into our sacrifice bean jar. We did have these in each of the classrooms so the kids could drop off their beans each week. And what I did was I just put this on our kitchen counter and I put our crown of thorns around it, so the kids can drop their beans in every time they do a good deed. Our crown of thorns has been bebopping through faith formation for a couple of years now, and what we did, if you want to make one of these at home, it's actually really simple. I don't know if you can see that under there. This is a pool noodle, and I wrapped it with burlap. When the kids, especially our second graders and our third graders, ones learning about reconciliation, when we talked about how to do an examination of conscience, each child in faith formation during Ash Wednesday last year, this year we used the beans, but they each received a toothpick. And as we walked through our examination of conscience, each person put in a toothpick for their sins. And of course this represents our crown of thorns, and we talked about how spiky it was, what it would feel like as Christ is wearing this on Good Friday, and that our goal through our Lenten sacrifices and our good deeds is each time we do a good deed, it is just like removing one of those thorns, and our goal is to try to make this crown as light as possible by the time Good Friday gets there. So on our countertop at home, we have our jar of beans. We put our crown of thorns around it. We also included, if you are at Mother and Son Night, our Lent cookies that we are making on Holy Saturday in the evening before Easter Sunday. For our hope, there is a card. I will link this in the video so that you can see it and you can make your own at home if you would like to add that to your own jar or to your own counter at home, or your own prayer table, or wherever you guys are doing your Lent activities throughout faith formation. The last thing, or second to last thing I wanted to show everybody is our Lent in a bag. The Wednesday kids made this at Ash Wednesday. Our Saturday and Sunday kids did it during that first class in March on the 7th and 8th. And the idea behind Lent in a bag is that everyone should have gotten a brochure. There are several different items, and each item walks through a different reminder of the Lenten season. You can find these all over your house. If you didn't get to make one at home, you can still do these in your own home right now. And the idea is that each night our children would take one item out and they would read through the reflection, and you guys can talk about it as a family. You can do it as many times as you want to. You can draw out as many items as you want to, however it works for your family to do your faith formation. So Lent in a bag. The first item was sand. And we just used kinetic sand, regular sand. We put it in little baggies, and they added the baggies to their bag. The next thing was a rock. It looks like my son picked out a little clear pebble for his, but that goes in there. The next one was a candle, little tea light, a human figure, and you could use a little people toy, a action figure, anything you have lying around the house for these. A seashell, a cross, a small cross. These were wooden and they have the crucifix imprinted on them. You could use, if you have one that's fallen off of a rosary, or you have just a little wooden cross at home, or any sort of cross, you could make one out of popsicle sticks if you need to, but a small cross that you could hold. Seeds, a band-aid. Here's the last one, 2, and that is, oh, and a seashell to make 8. Alright, and each one of these reminds us of a different item. I'll put separate videos below for each of the items for the reflections each day in case you want to do these and follow along. And then we also have Lenten prayer cards. I had my kids in faith formation. The kids wrote down what their sacrifices were for Lent. Some of them did these. Some of our older kids did the give up, take up activities. So depending on what they brought home, you might want to talk about your sacrifices each day. And then our family is using the Bible stories for 40 days. You can use any children's Bible that you have, or any Catholic Bible for that matter. We are using this one because it has big pretty pictures, red letters for the important stuff, for the quotes, things that we want to make sure the kids hear. I'll also do a separate video with Bible stories in it if you just want to listen to Miss Vicky read a Bible story. The important thing with the Bible stories is we have been working with our children on a modified Lectio Divina whenever they come into faith formation on Wednesdays and Saturdays. With Flips, we're doing this at home, but Wednesday and Saturday, kids, we want to close our eyes, be comfortable, make sure the kids are reflecting on the word that they hear. And then after they read the word, we are asking questions like, what is God telling you today? What did you hear God say to you in the scripture today? How does this apply to you? Some open-ended questions just to keep the kids engaged with the scripture instead of, who are the characters? What is the setting? A less academic approach to the Bible stories. Talk about the themes that you hear. Of course, you have Joseph and forgiveness. You're going to have Isaac and faith in God. These run through a lot of the traditional Lenten Bible stories. This is why I like this one a lot for my kids, and they're much smaller, so they still get into the pictures. Okay. One other thing I would show you guys, if you're looking for any extras, the kids also took home a Stations of the Cross. This is the time of year you should be talking about the Stations of the Cross. Praying our rosaries each day, praying together each day, praying about what's going on in the world, things that are reassuring to the kids and to keep up the stability of what they're already used to with faith formation. So I just wanted to go through those items. I'll set up some separate videos that break down the Bible stories piece by piece and the Lent in a bag piece by piece and those reflections. As always, if you have any questions, send those my way. That email is vcarney, CARNEY, @gsrcc.net, and I'll be happy to field those for you. Feel free to send us pictures of your kids doing their faith formation. We'll put them up on the church website and on the church Facebook page so that everybody can, it'll help keep the morale up and show everybody what we're working on. I am still working on some updates for our sacrament kids, and I will get those out to you as soon as possible. Thanks. God bless.